Hey there, have you ever been out on the golf course and seen those red, white, and yellow stakes, those wooden sticks, or even the spray painted markings around the course and wondered, what are those? In this video, we're going to learn all about red, yellow, and white markings on the golf course. Now on the golf course, you'll see stakes and markings that come in those three distinct colors, red, yellow, and white. Prior to 2019, those were called the markings for hazards, but we no longer call them hazards, they're now called penalty areas, okay? So those three colors represent different types of penalty areas, which we'll discuss now. The white stakes and markings out on the course denote out of bounds, nicknamed OB. Generally speaking, when a player strikes a ball and it lands or rolls into an out of bound area, we're going to incur a one-shot penalty, the case from the tee shot. So for example, let's say I'm out playing, boom, and I hit a tee shot and it runs out, but it goes a little bit right or left, it goes out of bounds. Well, I have two options. The first option is to what we call re-tee the ball right there. That would have been my first shot for the hole, but it went out of bounds. Remember, I have a one-shot penalty, so now I'm going to re-tee it again, hopefully keep it in the fairway this time, but that will be my third shot. So now, we talked about the option for hitting out of bounds and re-teeing, which is a one-shot penalty. There's also another option. Now, there's a two-shot penalty involved, but it is much more time-saving. So in matters of pace and play, that's why this one can be handy. In this one, you are allowed to drop in the fairway at the closest point where the ball went out of bounds, no more than 2 strokes away, no closer to the hole, of course, and you can drop there and then proceed from that point. Now remember, that's a 2-stroke penalty, whereas re-teeing is 1, but it can be a real time saver, and sometimes you can just make that up by not being as rushed. And in terms of a lost ball, the same rules apply. You're allowed to drop in that fairway at a point no closer to the hole where the ball was deemed to have gone out of bounds, and you can continue play from there. So now let's talk about penalty areas. Oftentimes penalty areas in golf are bodies of water, but oftentimes they're not. They may be ravines or rough area. As long as they're marked as such, it qualifies as a penalty area. Now, when a ball is touching or is within an area deemed as a penalty, the player is allowed to take relief from that area with a 1-stroke penalty. Now, we must be certain or virtually certain that that is where the ball landed and was lost. We can't just kind of think that's where it went. We must be pretty darn certain. And one other important note is that players are allowed to play the golf shot without penalty if the ball is found in the penalty area. So we've talked about the white markings, which are out of bounds, and there are 2 other ways to mark penalty areas. That would be with the yellow or the red markings. Among those, there are 2 distinct ways that we take relief from each of those. And the first one I'll discuss here is the yellow. So when the penalty area is marked yellow, player will incur a 1-stroke penalty, but she has 2 relief options. The first one is called stroke and distance relief. And in this instance, the player must take a shot from the defined area from which they took a shot. Now the second one is called the back on the line relief. And in this instance, the player can drop and go back as far as they like on a line from the hole to the origin of that shot. So they can go back as far as they like, or they have to drop somewhere in there, no nearer to the hole, of course. In both of these instances, the player must drop the ball no more than 1 club length from the chosen spot. Now in this third situation, we're talking about those penalties marked as red. Now, oftentimes you'll hear people talk about a lateral hazard, and that's exactly what the red markings denote. Think about this. If I'm standing here and there's a body of water that runs all along me, further away, all the way up, perhaps up to the green, all the way back up the fairway, it's impossible for me to get behind that penalty area, so hence the term lateral. So in this situation, the golfer has a third option. She can take relief within 2 club lengths of the place where the ball began to cross the hazard and cross the line no nearer to the hole. So it's important to remember that this lateral option is only available in areas marked with red. Understanding these 3 colors, red, white, and yellow, out on the golf course will help you take better charge of your game and be better prepared as a player. Hope this is helpful.